Well, sitting in the house so much with Butch, going crazy. He sleeps all day, then he wants to play all night. So I just decided I'm gonna get out. I haven't been down to Newport News Park for a while. So got out and I'm gonna go do some walking. He's gonna do a lot of sniffing. And this area here isn't the regular path like everybody walks, which is what I like, because that's when you get to see all kinds of things like turtles wandering around in the grass and the leaves. You get to see all the different kind of mushrooms and things that are sprouting at different times of year, and just come across something different than everything else that's on the trails. The trails are just packed with people, and this is actually a trail. You can see they got their little wood walkways and stuff. It just isn't one that most people use, but that's what I like. Get off the beaten path. And yep, beautiful day in October 2024 in Newport News. Weather is just like perfect. I can't tell really if it's hot or cold because it's so in between, but it's a great day. Beautiful sky, almost no wind. Butch is sniffing everything he can. All right then, Newport News, Maui. Newport News, Virginia. Another little follow-up to a little video I did. I'm off the beaten path, Newport News, Virginia. Beautiful October day. Weather's perfect. And Butch and I are, well, he's sniffing. I'm walking around, and I just ate, so excuse me. But this is the forest area of Newport News. Everybody tends to take the regular trails. Butch and I go off the trail. It's actually a trail, but people just don't use it. At any rate, what it shows here is the redoubts, which are the areas that they dug during the Civil War to, like basically trenches and mounds of dirt to protect them. So this is where the military, either side, Virginia was kind of in the middle, so it could have been one side or the other at some time. At any rate, they built these all over the place. You go down to Yorktown and everywhere, and they got all these mounds of dirt they call redoubt. And they used them to hide and shoot the enemy from. But it's what's crazy to me when I think about it and I go into some of these wooded areas is that back then you had people from the south and from the north brought off farms, everything thrown into the military and told to march. And they were told to march through these kind of places where you can't even see out, and you have to go and dig trenches and hope that you can figure out where the enemy's at. And a lot of, well, down that way it's all water, so you got a lot of places where it's just swamp and snakes and whatever else that they had to go through. If it was during the summer, they were getting eaten by mosquitoes. If it was during the winter, they're probably freezing their butts off, and they've even trenching through ice and snow. But here we get pretty much in the middle as far as the weather goes, so we don't get the harshest of weather and really the harshest of summers, but there's definitely can be brutal at times. So yeah, this is Newport News, Virginia on a beautiful October morning, or afternoon I should say. And we got a little bench up here and a sign. Let's go see what that says. I think it's basically explaining that readout that I just talked about. Yeah, not enough people come on this trail, so it's really not that marked. Oh yeah, there we go. Mott's Battery. 1862, Peninsula Campaign. April 4th, 1862, Major General George McClellan launched his offensive on the Virginia Peninsula against the Confederate capital in Richmond. Major General John B. Magruder's 13,000 troops halted the Union advance along the Warwick-Yorktown line, which is basically where we're at, on April 5th with the aggressive troop maneuvers and artillery duels. Magruder deceived McClellan into believing that he faced impregnable fortifications, defended by 100,000 troops. Our reconnaissance of yesterday, reported McClellan, shows the strength of the Army's position. The Warwick River grows worse the more you look at it. Excuse me. For the next month, McClellan concentrated 121,500 troops, 103 siege guns, and 44 artillery batteries against the Confederate defenders. Earthwork, part of McClellan's extensive siege works, marked the second position of Captain Thaddeus Mott's 3rd New York Battery during the April 16th Battle of Dam No. 1. Mott's battery contained two 1,200-pound Napoleon smoothbores and four 10-pound Parrott rifles, supported the strike against the Confederate one-gun battery at Dam No. 1. During the engagement, Mott's battery suffered 10 casualties, and Confederates' counter-battery fire disabled one of the Parrott rifles. Yes, make sense of this. This is actually a pretty big view because this is Newport News here, and this is the the James River, and you got the York River up here, and it's basically a peninsula. So all Newport News is within this area, but this is where a lot of battles happened here. The Chesapeake Bay, all around. This is where like all the ironclads and everybody fought. Yeah, kind of right in the middle of that area here. Pretty interesting place to learn about, although I'm 67 and only really learning about it now. Well, say hi, Butch. No, he's too busy smelling. So here at Newport News Park with my dog, Butch, and here's another interesting thing. General Custer, everybody knows about Custer because of the Indian fights and how he ended up being killed there, but he, in 1861, was one of the last dubious honor graduates in the 1861 class of West Point. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in the 5th U.S. Cavalry, fought with the Army of the Potomac in almost every major battle from Bull Run to Appomattox. So basically, he also took a balloon flight called the Constitution, and over the Warwick Courthouse, which is right by my house, and wrote, "My confidence in balloons at the time was not sufficient." Probably pretty brave at the time, especially if guns are going to be shooting, trying to knock the balloon down. So he supervised a bunch of rifle pits, which are like these little ways that go down through here, and kind of like that last one we saw, and built little kind of like covered walkways so that the troops could move from one location to the other. And when he got into this area, let's see, during the Battle of Williamsburg, May 5th, 1862, Custer discovered several abandoned redoubts on the Confederate left flank. By seizing these fortifications, Union Army gained a tactical advantage. So Custer earned a reputation as reckless bravery, was advanced from captain to brigadier general in 1863 at the age of 23. Come on, man. Men, in this time and day at 23, doing stuff like that, I just can't even imagine it. But at any rate, so he commanded the cavalry brigade, in one of the youngest in the Union Army, and then after that he served as the lieutenant colonel of the 7th U.S. Cavalry, fought in the Indian Wars, and as everybody mostly knows them for, on June 25th, 1876, the Sioux and the Cheyenne killed Custer and 264 troopers at the Battle of Little Bighorn. So there's, you can see old Custer there, group of his men. So yeah, I never knew he served in this war and then went on to the Indian Wars. All kinds of strange periods in our history here. Okay, Butch, let's keep walking. Just another little short follow-up on the Newport News video I'm doing with my dog Butch walking around. And I was talking about all the areas like this that the Confederate Army was fighting and going through here, trying to fight with the Union. And what that wire's for. Nice piece of wire though. And so all this was an area where fighting was happening, people were being killed, and in a way a sacred spot because probably so many people did die here. But today, you look right across, and it's a golf course. And it's a big park, 14,000 acres. But part of it is a golf course on the other side of this water. And it's hard to say how much of this water was here back then because the water is mostly part of some dams that they built to flood this area. But at any rate, these areas in here, you can see how much the water came up after all the rain we had earlier. But yeah, just a nice golf course over there. And it's so weird to me to think that people are just enjoying themselves, golfing away, and yet right across the water in this area, people fought for our country in one aspect or another. Crazy stuff. Newport News Park, Virginia. Another reason for being off the beaten path. They move behind the tree there. Is I get to see a deer and her baby walking around in the woods there. Not that I don't see enough of them in my own backyard, but it's nice to see them out in the wild like this. Yeah, there we go. I'm pointing the camera where I should be. They're just eating, enjoying themselves. Now, if they were in my backyard, I'd probably be chasing them off because they chew everything in my garden, trees, the works. All right, Newport News, Virginia. October, beautiful day.